Okay, welcome to our first podcast. I'm already fucking it up, and we're like 3 words in. So my name's Anthony, and my friend here is Joe. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Joe.
Hi, everybody. I'm Joe. I am literally the opposite of our host, Anthony, and we're going to see how everything goes today because he is going to teach me about nerd culture, which I have no idea because I'm not one of those nerds.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be essentially, I'll be teaching Joe a topic, a little bit of a lecture, and basically talking straight into a brick wall for about an hour. And we'll see if he retains any of that information. Doesn't really matter if he does or not, because his banter is what's most important here.
There's no stakes here, so I don't really care, and I don't really care about nerd culture. But I needed something to do because quarantine sucks.
That's true. It definitely does suck. Well, Joe, how's your week been so far? You got anything fun going on?
The week is now I have a 16-month-old at my house. I'm married with one kid who is basically the spawn of the devil.
And, so you?
Oh well, yeah. I mean, yeah. You can definitely say it's me, but he decided to. I also have a 75-pound pit bull boxer mix at the house that he decides he wants to jump off the couch and try to put the dog in a headlock and wrestle the dog to the floor. The only thing that sucks is, well, he's about 30 pounds. The dog is 75. Now, I'm not a math guy, but yeah, the dog wins. And this kid is atrocious. I love him to death, but he is a little mini-me. He just recently started banging on doors to see if anybody will answer him. So it's real creepy at night when he's banging on his cage, and I can't figure cage.
Wait, you put the kid in a cage?
No, I meant to say crib. All right, I put the dog in the cage, and I put the kid in the crib. Sometimes, you gotta switch them up. Though,
now, Joe, I know you have a career. You've had a career in like mixed martial arts and wrestling. You can't just go ahead and call a crib a cage just because you put your kid in there.
You know what? It's padded, so tomato, Anthony.
Well, there are more simulators.
You got to teach them young, or they'll turn out to be a nerd, and no one likes those guys. All right. I like you. You're an all right person.
You know what? I'm gonna come over to your house, and Uncle Anthony's gonna make this kid watch anime.
Why would you do that to him? Look, I don't come over here and abuse. Well, I don't think you really have anything, but I don't abuse whatever you have.
Yeah, you don't wrestle my roommate child or anything.
I mean, I would, but
yeah. Well, we'll see after the podcast. You can go beat him up or some shit.
I mean, I'm okay with that. I have the gloves in the car. Don't ask questions on why I carry all my gear in the car. Just don't ask questions.
Why do you carry your gear in your car?
It's hobo bum fights, all right? Look, the quarantine's really hit us all hard in the pocketbook, and you got to make ends meet. I got a family.
Hobo with a shotgun?
Unfortunately, yes, I did see Hobo with a shotgun, and I can't unsee Hobo with a shotgun. Also, that whole Danny Trejo bus thing, too. You know what I'm talking about? The bus movie?
Yeah.
Badass or whatever that was. I think it was Badass. I don't know.
Is that what it was?
I was a little inebriated when I watched the movie.
I'm thinking of another bus movie.
That's another thing. I drink a little bit more than Anthony does, and he's a little bit more. Well, how do I say this politely? He's a little bit more put together, where I'm a little bit chaos.
I mean, put together is a relative term. When you consider the fact you do have a family, so if there's one thing to be proud of you, Joe, it's that you figured that shit out.
I mean, I did mostly like how you get a square peg in a round hole. Sometimes you just got to hit that peg with a big enough hammer to make it go in the hole.
And somehow Roxy watched you hit that square peg.
That's how Ashton was born, actually. That's how Ashton was made. I really hope my wife does not listen to this podcast, because my wife, as Anthony knows, is fully Hispanic, and she hurts me. Please call the authorities. But no, she's a wonderful woman. Anthony hasn't had a girlfriend as long as I've known him, or a boyfriend. I don't know. He might be asexual and just reproduces by himself. I don't know. Maybe he's into plants. He said something at work one time about robots. I don't know. I try to shut him off every now and then, but yeah, we also work together, so that's a thing.
Yeah, you're not allowed to see what I keep in my closet. So anyway,
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, but this week's been, I don't know, mostly a pain in the ass for me too. No family situations going on. It's just working overtime at a shitty job.
I mean, yeah, I'm on board with you. I got a couple 16s coming up, so
oh god,
you're gonna be stuck with me on one of them.
Yeah, but fortunately, this upcoming week, I've traded shifts with one of our coworkers, so I'm gonna have a little bit of time off, and then the next week it's gonna go straight into overtime because we're trading shifts. So,
are you gonna be on second shift with me?
No.
Well, then I want out of this podcast.
Oh, all right. Bye. I guess
that
was the podcast. You can hit me up on Twitter. Subscribe to anyway. So, but other than that, this week's been, I don't know, mostly fine. I've been actually kind of taking a break this week from working on voice acting, something I've been trying to get into.
Fucking nerd.
Thank you. But yeah, it would be something I'd love to get into. I have plenty of microphones around here. I set up my closet to have like sound foam and shit in it. It's got like a mic stand. Yeah, I'll have to show you in a little bit here.
That's not weird.
Yeah. Oh, and this thing right over here is a...
I'm going to say the microphone's probably not the only thing in the closet in this situation, but, live your life, Anthony. That's 2020. No one's here to judge you.
You're not allowed to look at where I put my mics, okay? Everyone, when they buy a mic, they're curious about how certain places sound, all right? It's not a big deal.
I mean, yeah, I sing in my bathroom, so, it's kind of like that.
In the shower? I mean, because like when you have like the rain coming down,
it's like an R&B shoot. Like it's your own like R&B shoot. Like,
yeah,
I definitely feel that I'm a lot sexier when I sing in the shower. The wife probably disagrees though.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd imagine a scene where you're singing in the shower and then Roxy pulls the curtain aside with a knife and it cuts you a slice of cake and you have a nice cake in the shower.
I mean, that's why I usually carry a knife on me, just in case of cake incidents.
Yeah, or wife never know murdering you in the shower incidents.
There's a shower gun for a reason.
Or sometimes you lift up the basin of the toilet and get your toilet shotgun out.
How'd you know about the toilet shotgun?
Your house is bugged, Joe.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, we actually
I have a history.
We have watchjoebedumb.com. That's a site where we monitor you 24/7.
I'm not even getting paid.
Gets a lot of hits. You don't get any money out of that.
That's rough, but all right, I guess. I didn't consent to this.
Yeah, no royalties.
That's
fine.
That's completely.
It actually
fine
breaks a few laws.
Not like I've never broken a law before.
Exactly. It's really more of like a blackmail thing.
Blackmail, gray area. It's all.
You don't get royalties so much as you're not allowed to go to the police. Otherwise, we go to the police. So.
And I would probably guarantee you, the file you have on me is probably a little bit more expansive than the...
Okay, sorry about that. It looks like we had some technical difficulties cut out after a few minutes. I'm going to monitor it, make sure it doesn't happen again. So, Joe, we're going to go ahead and get into our topic for today. I'm going to talk to you about the term otaku. Otaku is a Japanese term. It kind of originates from the word for, like, you. Like one of the many words for you, but it has since grown into its own thing. The term is now kind of used as like a slang term for someone with consuming interests. Consuming interests would be something along the lines of, I don't know, you walk into someone's house and see their walls plastered with it, and they have...
This seems relatively familiar.
Yeah, so...
I'm just saying, that's a lot of anime and real nerd shit. I think that one keeps staring at me.
They're all staring.
Is that a My Little Pony?
Anyway, so the term typically will be used for people who enjoy anime, manga, and video games. I think as you asked before, manga is essentially Japanese equivalent of like comic books.
They just call them goddamn comic books.
Well, it has a different origin, man.
Whatever.
In fact, speaking of, one of my favorite manga is called One Piece. And interestingly enough, One Piece is like one of the top 3 best-selling comic books in the world, right under Batman and Superman. And it's actually looking like it's going to get close to surpassing Batman.
Nothing will ever surpass Batman. Do you understand?
All right, well, maybe Batman, but not Superman, because Superman's...
Yeah, Superman's garbage. He's hot garbage.
Well, based on how you feel,
yeah, no.
he's still the best-selling comic in the world.
All right, whatever, fine.
Hey, I'm not saying
why
I'm exactly into the
it's
character.
Garbage. I don't know. I've never seen One Piece or Two Piece or whatever kind of fucking swimsuit you're trying to sell me. I haven't seen any of those.
I think you might look good in a One Piece.
I mean, you know what? I'm getting back in the gym. I feel good. And Yeah, I don't know if I would. I think I'm definitely more of a two-piece guy. The bikini really fits my chest line.
Oh, we'll find out. I have a couple things set aside for you. So anyway,
That's weird.
The term kind of originated in, or it seems to have originated in an issue of a magazine. Not entirely sure. I want to go into too much detail on the magazine. It's a little creepy, but
not where I thought you were going with this, but okay, all right.
The magazine
I also read magazines.
Was in 1983. It's called Manga Buriko. Go ahead and check that out at your own risk.
That definitely sounds like some Spanish type of dish that I would go to. Like, hey man, hey, can I get that manga burrito? Or whatever you just said. It definitely sounded like burrito.
We're gonna go ahead and pretend it's a burrito, not what it actually is. So
all right, that sounds good to me. Fuck yeah.
So the term in Japan oftentimes kind of comes out as more of a negative aspect. It's seen as people who have, again, it's kind of used as a like consuming interest. So people who are otaku are typically seen as like nerds. Yeah, they live on their own. They live in small little apartments.
Dungeon dwelling nerds
hide in their crypt all day. And,
what is this sunlight? Why does it burn?
Live off just rice and ramen noodles.
You're talking about yourself, Anthony.
I know I'm talking about myself. That's why this knowledge comes from experience. But yeah,
you're an otaku, otiki-tabi, whatever it is.
In essence, in some ways, sure. I mean, I would probably fall under the branch of the subculture of
Goddamn, there's branches?
Oh, there are plenty of branches. We'll touch on that.
I don't know if I want to go into how many branches, because somewhere along the line, it's just going to get super weird and probably rather pornographic.
Probably beyond super weird. And there are pornographic otaku. But anyway,
I'm not surprised by that.
Typically, otaku would kind of fall under the interest of anime lovers and all that. And in Japan, which is a very heavily like work-oriented culture, they see these type of people as like freeloaders or people who just like aren't interested in doing any work. And there also are some real crimes attributed to otaku. And
shit, like the Yakuza?
No, not nearly as cool as the Yakuza.
Oh, wow, that was kind of a letdown.
Yeah, sorry to burn you. I guess we could talk about
really excited
Yakuza later.
I know about the Yakuza.
I mean,
not like, I don't know where you're going with that, but that's an assimilation that I don't think is worthy.
You probably like Googled Japanese mafia once and were like,
they got great tattoos. This? I do love tattoos and the mafia. So like, I'm an organized crime buff.
You'd probably get a lot of stares for your tattoos in Japan because they're not typically highly. They're not seen very positively.
Really?
Yeah, it's definitely something that's gotten a little bit better in recent times because you're very clearly American. They would probably just let it fly. They wouldn't care. But
probably not.
Right. But you get as many stares for being American as you would for having tattoos. But say you were a Japanese person with that many tattoos, that's saying a lot. You'd get as many stares as being an American. And typically because tattoos are associated with the Yakuza. And the Yakuza is a little bit more of a frightening thing.
Do they have mangas about the Yakuza?
Oh, plenty. In fact, there's a game called Yakuza.
I mean...
And that game is kind of awesome. So,
all right, look, I know I'm trying to not delve into nerd culture, but all right, that you may have found like a little niche corner
there is
the
definitely
nerd world that I might be able to branch into.
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely a possibility that you would enjoy Yakuza, the game. It's definitely like a lot of the big aspect of it is going around town and beating the shit out of petty criminals, because you can. You're what is this?
Tried to do that yesterday. Apparently the main that's character, wrong, and now I have a court date. But that's besides the point.
Yeah, I don't understand what's wrong with vigilantism, but whatever. I guess you got to pay cops to do something.
Right, something.
Yeah, the main character is referred to as I think the Dragon of Dojima, which is a fucking awesome name.
That's a super awesome name.
Yeah.
Can I break the Dragon of DKelb? I have tattoos.
That doesn't really sound as cool.
No, it really doesn't. It's definitely like off. It doesn't flow right.
It sounds more like you're going to wander out of a cornfield and molest somebody.
That's how most people in the Midwest are born. They don't die. They just regenerate at a Casey's and then like go on about their way. Like in Grand Theft Auto, you come back in the hospital. Yeah. Well, if you die in the Midwest, you come back in a Casey's.
You come back in a Casey's.
They give you free pizza.
It's fine. And you try to find more liquor so you can be a general menace to society.
Ouch. Also, I don't need liquor to do that, Anthony.
I know. That wasn't really a jab at you, but you accepted the jab willingly.
Oh, well, you know what? You gotta take one on the chin every now and then, just like these otakus do. Because apparently it's negative. From what I know, the Japan people the Japan people, whatever. All right, look, I'm slightly inebriated. All right. So these people, like, if there's one thing I understand about Japanese culture, which is minimal at best, Anthony, they're small people. They have an incredibly high suicide rate, and honor is everything. Am I wrong? Because I feel like I'm wrong at least about one of those.
I feel like if I were to rate those, one is incredibly racist. one is...
You're saying there's not a lot of Japanese people in the NBA, all right?
One is an assumption of traditional Japanese, and one is surprisingly correct. Kind of sadly so.
I'm 1 for 3, baby. So I already win this game. All right.
Yeah, 33% isn't bad.
It's like my high school years all over again.
Just keep going right below the average line, so nobody notices you're there.
Look, I gotta see. I gotta see average so I can wrestle. All right, that was literally it. I mean, I played football too, but wrestling was my shit.
But yeah, not just the asocial kind of aspect of being otaku, which isn't really necessarily true, but that's kind of how it's viewed in Japan. But there are also reasons to view the word otaku as kind of the same type of media scapegoat as the term gamer is here in the US. So surely you've heard many news articles and media talk about, like, oh, there's this mass murderer and he was known to play games like Grand Theft Auto. So he was a gamer,
Yeah,
so,
I got it. Yeah.
A lot of times playing a game in the US can be viewed as like, oh, like, could this person potentially be unhinged, or like, why do they enjoy playing a game like Grand Theft Auto where you shoot hookers? And
look, because I can't do it in real life. That's why we enjoy it.
Sure. And it's not that we would necessarily do it in real life. I mean, I'm speaking for one of us in the room.
Yeah, you keep speaking for one of us in the room too.
All right, I'll stop doing that. Yeah, but what I'm saying otaku. Is that these things don't necessarily correlate. So the same is with otaku. But the problem is, even in Japan, similar to the way gamers used here, when there are instances of, say, like, murderers, which is actually a far more rare in Japan.
Yeah, I heard crime is a lot, like, crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they don't have guns or, like...
There's no mass shootings in Japan.
Yakuza had, like, nunchucks at one point.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, there's no mass shootings in Japan. There are mass stabbings.
Mass, like... Oh, okay. All right, well, I mean...
which again, isn't common at all.
It should be, like, mass nunchuckings. I feel like that would be funnier.
I feel like that's...
Like, you beat, like, 3 people with some nunchucks before the cops came and talked them down. Because I don't know. Are they, like, samurai cops over there? Like...
Yeah, they ride in with their kabutos on their head.
Whoa,
and
what's
they
a
unsheath
kabuto?
Their katana, and they strike down criminals in the night. At least you know what katana is. I don't have to explain that one.
Obviously.
Kabuto is a helmet.
Oh, the little.
Yeah, I think kabuto. I think it originates from like a shelled creature. So that's kind of the idea. Is when you're armored up, you're like a kabuto.
No, I look like a turtle. Gotcha.
Yeah, pretty
understandable.
Wow, where was I?
Just strikes again.
So yeah, like I was saying, it's kind of often used as like a scapegoat. And unfortunately, there are real instances of someone who was otaku, who committed crimes that definitely didn't help the viewing of the subculture. But even as recent as, 2004, I'm sorry.
That's a difference.
That's completely different. As recent as 2004, we even still have seen journalists over there trying to pin the term to people who weren't even otaku. So that's kind of where it lies. There's almost people who have something to gain from putting this subculture in a negative light. However, even as recent as 2013, there's a study that shows 42% of 1,307. Oh, wait, no, I got that number completely wrong.
That's right, I'm not good with numbers either.
Yeah, at least I'm reading it. 137,734 teens self-identified as otaku.
Holy shit, so it's a sexuality now? Wait. I identified like characteristic, not like
I can tell you for sure there's nothing sexual going on with otaku.
I feel like that's a blatant lie.
Oh, all right.
Because some of the stuff behind me is kind of sticky.
All right. Well,
so
sexual is relative. Sure. Don't touch any of that. But this can be thanks in part to artists like Hayao Miyazaki. I don't know if you've heard of Hayao Miyazaki. Probably not. I don't think
you already know the answer to this question. I know. Is that one of those Japanese pop groups? The K-pop?
No. Although those are idol groups, or rather idol groups are more of a thing now, and there are idol otaku, people who like obsess over idol groups.
Oh yeah.
So you're kind of on something there.
I'm a child of the 90s. I know I had a sister.
How Miyazaki is widely regarded as the Japanese Disney. You know, this dude made
that sounds terrifying.
No, he didn't do any of the illegal things that Disney probably did. As far as I'm aware. It is still Japan after all. But no, I mean in the aspect that he is accredited as this major artist, really put Japanese animation on the map. A lot of his works are loved by children, especially in Japan, but even here in the US. And there's a lot of people here in the US, adults and otherwise, who love his animations. If I'm remembering correctly, he made My Neighbor Totoro, and people are going to hang me if I'm getting this wrong.
Wait, hang on. Totoro, like the dog from fucking...
No, that's Toto.
Oh, all right. Fair enough. Right.
No, Totoro is a giant cat. And
you lost me.
The point is, he's this, big, fuzzy, nice cat that helps out these two children. I just feel like
he's like if Godzilla owned a cat, that's what I'm picturing.
Exactly. Yeah, he's probably about that size. He's also a bus, I think. Or no, there is a cat bus.
All right. So how much drugs do they do, like in Japan? Like, because I feel like that's some higher level shit. Also, do you know how I can get drugs from Japan?
I think Japan just has this like aura of getting high. Just existing there feels like living in another fictional realm.
Well, I've never been there. I mean, you obviously you have some say in that, saying you've been to Japan.
Yeah, I've definitely, my friends and I obviously made jokes that I'm going to real world anime pretty soon here. I've been to Japan.
That is high level nerd shit.
Obviously.
Real world anime.
That's what it is.
Also, he doesn't have any friends, so don't let him try to bullshit you on that.
Why are you here then? Get the fuck out
fine.
of my room.
He's got a point. All right. We're not friends.
But over there, definitely in a lot of places, it's kind of just like it is over here. I mean, there's different architecture. There's different people, clearly.
Wait, so they're not like the stacked buildings or whatever?
In a lot of the major cities, sure. There's a lot of taller buildings, a lot of apartments.
No, like the little thing, like the thing that's got like the red roof and then like a tinier house on top of it.
Oh.
A tinier little house on top of it.
You mean
they all have like red roofs and they're like samurai.
Is that a pagoda?
I think it's a pagoda. But
I didn't see any of those. Too. That would be a lot more traditional architecture. They obviously have some more modern day architecture.
I would see I would see especially like in a Tokyo that they would have like more. I heard their technology even is like more advanced than ours, and like.
In some places, it can feel that way.
Yeah. See, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, there's whole districts that are dedicated to.
Is there an Otaku district?
There's a couple.
Oh wow! I keep trying to like throw you off, and you're like, "No, I got you, bro."
Well, that's what happens when one of us researches.
Touche.
So
I didn't research anything.
Where is that in my notes? It's not down there. I had.
Wait, you took notes?
Yeah, you want to see them?
No.
Okay, so
I don't take any notes.
Yeah, places in Japan where the otaku subculture is, actually widely used and is essentially kind of their whole shtick. One such place that's pretty incredibly well known is Akihabara, which is not a district. I think it's bigger than a district. A prefecture, I think is the term they use in Tokyo. So it's in the major city of Tokyo.
Oh, okay.
It's essentially what like what do they call it? Like Little Italy in Chicago or whatever. Or is that New York?
That's definitely New York.
That's how little I know about my own country.
Yeah, that's not weird.
But the thing about Akihabara is they widely use like anime, video games, electronics. It's all otaku culture there. There's billboards have anime characters. Fucking shops are all anime characters.
I mean, if it's gonna bring in a revenue, I could definitely see why they would go so hard on it. You know?
Exactly, and it's the type of thing that even draws people to Japan. What did I have here?
Unless you're like epileptic, because I can see that going horribly wrong, horribly quick over there.
Yeah, that might be an issue. Although I guess epilepsy, if I'm not reading this wrong, kind of feels like it's a more common thing there. So funnily enough, I think they do have a lot more. They have a lot more like laws in place to keep that from happening. A lot of modern anime, if you were to watch it now, you'll find a lot of scenes they actually dim it so that it hopefully doesn't cause any epileptic fits.
Well, that's good. That's good. You know, watch it out for the elliptics and ellipticals.
Ellipticals.
No, that is elliptical. That is an exercise machine, Anthony. Don't try to throw off my train of thought. All right.
Well, it's fun when it works.
Ouch.
Oh, perfect. There it was. So the terms becoming less negative thanks to Hayao Miyazaki and all that. In fact, there is a former prime minister of Japan. His name is Taro Aso. I think that's how it's pronounced.
That's kind of a cool name.
Yeah,
I like that name.
And he claimed to be an otaku.
Aso.
Yeah, could you imagine? Like, he claimed to be an otaku. Imagine if, like, the president of the United States was like, yeah, dude, I fucking love anime. That's basically what this guy did.
I would move to Mexico.
Well, I mean, I would find it better than what we currently got.
I mean, touche, but still.
But, yeah, he actually used this self-identification of otaku as kind of like a leveraging point to make, to kind of promote the subculture and to promote Japan in foreign affairs. He kind of helped like bring in like revenue and kind of make Japan, he kind of brought out some of the more positive aspects of it to make Japan seem a more interesting place and really kind of put it more on the map. Yeah, what I was talking about, Akihabara. Do I have something else I wanted to add about any of this? Akihabara is an interesting place with, you can see people wandering around in cosplay. Have you heard of cosplay?
Yeah, I know what cosplay is.
Well, sometimes you don't.
I have weird family members, okay? All right? I have weird family members. I don't talk to them, and I try to avoid them at every cost, but I got, weird family members.
Well, you know what's better than family? Maids.
Don't.
So they're employees that'll wander around in the streets.
I really thought you were going to go with something like anime is better than family or most humans.
Oh, that goes without saying.
Oh, well, no.
But yeah, these people will be dressed as maids and they'll be handing out flyers for their maid cafe. You're expected to,
all right,
you go to a cafe, you sit down, have some like coffee or tea.
I've been to some of these cafe places. We just call them brothels up here, Anthony.
I mean, I think some places you could probably under the books, get yourself some action, but I'm pretty sure a lot of these places aren't expected
answer the question, Anthony.
I didn't see any maid cafes.
Oh. Then why would I go to... You got to seek these things out. I mean, if you're going to go to another country, you got to explore the weird depths of the country.
Oh, well, see, there's so many things I want to do in Japan that it is going to take another trip. I'll have to go one day, again, to see these kind of things.
I don't think I'm going to be allowed in Japan. They really don't want the big, obnoxious white guy there.
Yeah, I mean, I give you a day.
They're just going to like, no, you banned. Get out. That was horrible. I don't do a very
what was
Japanese
that? Like
accent.
fucking...
All right, look here. All right? I didn't come on your show to do fucking accents, all right? I came on here...
Then why did you do it? I didn't ask you to do it.
Okay, look. He's paying me under the table to be here. That's the only reason I would associate with this cocky or whatever fucking word is today.
Yeah, I pay him to be my friend.
Yeah, it's an honest living. All right, it's not much, but it's an honest living. And yeah, no, I'll probably be kicked out of Japan rather quickly because they already don't like my tattoos apparently.
Well, if you remember correctly, we actually knew someone else who went to Japan.
Who?
Big tall guy used to work with us. I don't know if I should say his name. Myserel? Remember that?
Rao went to Japan?
Rao went to Tokyo, yeah.
I'm not surprised.
I mean, yeah, but if he was able to go a week there, and I mean, it's not like
is that where that Japanese demon thing came from? They saw Rel and they were like, "Oh, Omi." Am I using that term right?
Oni.
I watched a video on it. It was on my YouTube.
You were close. I'll give you credit.
I was actually gonna get one tattooed because I gotta fill in the sleeve. I wanted to get like an Oni mask tattooed on the back of my arm because those look dope.
Yeah, with like fucking like horns. And
yeah,
the red
like
and the teeth.
it's
fucking
dope.
sick.
It's dope. I'll give you this. Like, all right, look, I don't fucking watch anime, and I think it's weird. I tried several times. I watched Samurai Shampoo the other day. I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of cool. I like Samurai Shampoo. All right,
Shampoo.
Don't fucking correct me.
All right. No, I mean
it's champagne.
Champagne. Right? Samurai Champagne is something I'll
is
go
it
with.
shampoo?
Shampoo.
Shampoo.
It's spelled like champ and then Lou. But
it's champion
shampoo.
poo. Gotcha.
Champion poo.
All right. Anyway, the samurai show. I liked it. It was cool. They're like dueling samurais, which is super cool. I'm a hardcore nerd for the whole like samurai culture. I mean, I have a whole like sleeve dedicated to samurai culture, but like that's as far as I know of anything Japanese. Was the whole code of Bushido and the death before dishonor thing. So if at any point in this episode you want to go commit seppuku, that's fine. Just do it in the fucking parking lot, Anthony, because I don't want to have to fight another murder charge.
Right. Well, it's not honorable if nobody's witness to see me do it, right? So
you have a roommate for a reason, Anthony. Don't bring me into this.
Well, yeah, but he's still going to claim that you murdered me.
So wait. If like there's two, what's the term again? Otaku. If there's an otaku and another otaku, and they get into like this battle about who's the bigger otaku, and one clearly loses, do they have to commit seppuku?
Seppuku.
Yeah, whatever. I think I drink a beer that was called seppuku.
That would be Sapporo.
Great beer though. Good beer.
It is pretty good.
It's a solid beer. I had it not too long ago.
What did I have? I had Asahi. Asahi is fucking good.
I've heard good things about it. Haven't tried it, but I've heard good things. You know, me being me, and this is another reason why I'm completely different from Anthony. Anthony obviously is a nerd. He loves his Japanese. He loves his nerd culture. As we go on in the podcast, you'll actually see him super nerd out. I'm the complete opposite. I love everything kind of mainstream. I love barbecue, whiskey, guns,
America.
Women. Woman, I am married. Please, Roxy, don't hit me again.
Wrestling.
Look, I don't like wrestling, all right? I like MMA, mixed martial arts.
Mixed martial arts. That sounds like
that
wrestling.
Is not wrestling at all. It is real. I will be more than happy to give you a demonstration if you don't shut your mouth, all right? What are you going to do? Fucking power level over 9,000? You Goku, you fat fuck.
You know, you actually knew a reference. And
yeah.
Again, give you some credit for that.
Because I trained with guys that were like, Dragon Ball Z. And I'm like, you're a nerd, but I respect you because you can fight really well.
So this is a fun thing I'm going to bring up because we brought up MMA and wrestling. So there's a game called No More Heroes, and the main character in it is named Travis Touchdown. It's a pretty good name, right? It's a pretty great name.
Yeah,
good alliteration.
No, I'm in.
Travis is an otaku. And in fact, it has kind of put a negative aspect on his life, debatably, I guess. He lives in a motel. He spends all of his money on video games, anime, and wrestling videos, because that's just what his interests are in. Oh, he buys wrestling masks too. He loves them. I guess it's more of like a lucha libre thing he's into.
Yeah, I was going to say the mask is definitely a lucha libre thing.
And it's actually a reflection of the creator of the game, Goichi Suda. Although he also goes by a pseudonym Suda51, which is kind of a cool name. I don't know.
No, that's
sounds cool.
I don't know. It sounds like a fucking and I don't know, born supremacy type thing.
It sounds like some sort of like company name.
He's definitely Treadstone.
And reportedly, Suda was so disappointed in the animations of Travis's wrestling that he physically demonstrated some of the moves he wanted to his animators. The people animating the game didn't do a good enough job.
That's funny as hell.
And the director's
this guy's
like,
my spirit animal.
He's like, all right, hold still, because you're gonna feel firsthand what this looks like. Yeah, it's incredible, and that game is such a fever dream that you should also check out at some point just to take a look at. The main character is goofy and campy, and he's an assassin. He's basically living in poverty. He spends all his money on video games and shit, right? So a woman confronts him one day and basically says like, hey, I'm going to contract you to kill this guy. And he's like, all right, cool. Why not? He won a beam katana in a contest. So, what else are you going to do?
So that's like a samurai lightsaber?
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Dope. That's
so what else are you going to do with a beam katana besides go fucking kill someone, right?
I mean, you would have to. I think that's a law, actually.
Yeah, I mean, what else are you going to do with it? Jerk off with it?
I wouldn't
Speaking of,
that.
you want to know how you charge it? He literally stands like widespread and goes like this. You can't see, but I'm fucking like double-handed wank in the air. That's how he charges the beam katana.
Well, then I charge my beam katana 3 times a day. If that's how we charge our beam katanas.
TMI.
You don't have a beam katana? What kind of nerd are you?
Obviously, I have a beam katana. Joe.
Mine's just a shotgun.
I'm just not allowed to tell people.
I don't charge it, but the neighbors get real angry when I shoot it in the back.
When you walk outside and just start jerking the air with the shotgun.
It makes really cool noises. Also, don't keep it loaded and do that. Bad idea.
So, Travis ends up joining an assassin association because he finds out that now that he's killed a couple people, the couple people that he killed were on like the top 11 list of assassins in the association.
Oh.
And the woman who hired him basically went, yeah, so I run this whole organization and you could step out now, but the problem is people are going to be coming after your rank. So Travis is now locked in and he has to fight through the top 10 remaining assassins in the organization and get to the top.
Oh,
and
no.
It's so wacky. The gameplay is kind of this open world where the idea is you need to make enough money to pay for your next promotion event. And in order to make money, you can do things like fucking mow the lawn and shit like that. There's lots of like goofy little mini games that pad it out.
That's awesome.
You can go to this gym and have this old wrestler teach you some wrestling moves. Because when Travis obviously has a beam katana, why would he need to wrestle? Well, there are times you stun enemies. And what better to do to a stunned enemy than fucking suplex him?
I mean, yeah. You're literally hitting that person with the world.
Yeah.
Like, that's the art of wrestling. Hitting people with the world.
There's very little else you could hit them with that would hurt more.
Yeah, I mean, that's the fucking world.
And just one more thing about Travis. In the second game, he can turn into a tiger.
I am the tiger. Sorry.
I mean, that's probably close to what they were going for.
It's all about the thrill of fight, Anthony.
It's just, the game is just so wacky, and Travis is such a like cool, ideal otaku character. Like, if there were otakus that you didn't want to idolize, Travis is not one of them. He's fucking awesome, even though he lives alone and in poverty. But
wait, are there like American like otakus, like people that are like, yeah, I love America, blah blah blah, like? Oh,
okay, I see what you're saying.
I know I didn't convey that well.
No, I think I get what you mean. So, as I've explained at the top, otaku is a term for someone with
yeah, it's just a broad term about like
consuming interests.
There you go, yeah, consuming interests.
So very much, yes, there are otaku in Japan who love America so much, you could call them an American otaku. I don't know if that term comes up anywhere exactly. I'm sure they have their own fucking word for it. There's probably a specific slang for it. I don't have anything of that in my notes. If I were to go into something like that in my notes, it would take me a minute because I don't remember where it was.
I'm just saying, because it feels like, to me, Japan is the epicenter of nerd culture and just kind of radiates out into the world. Like, don't get me wrong, American, like, I would imagine there's a lot of American presence in Japan. I mean, even given history, with all that going on between us, especially around the years of the mid 1940s, I would imagine. I
wonder why.
If you don't know that reference, please go read a fucking book.
If you don't know that reference, you're too young for this podcast.
Anyway, damn it. I feel like there's overlapping, but like in a race of nerddom, like to the top, Japan's got the crown. All I'm saying is they're carrying the belt right now, and America, like, he's a decent number one contender, but they ain't taking that belt anytime soon.
You're so halfway to a point that I'm going to walk you the rest of the way there. Fucking Japan and US are in this, like, who can build the giant robot first war right now. There's like a Cold War for who can build a mecha first.
Okay, we have nukes. Fuck them. All right? We made that point twice. We'll do it again. Fuck your robots, Japan.
The problem is nobody wants to do it again.
Oh.
That's what nukes are for, is just like, now we're going to have to fight these small proxy wars and Metal Gear.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is Japan and the US...
I took a Solid Snake earlier, by the way.
No, don't do that. Don't fucking tell me that shit. But I'm just saying, there's like, you're right in that, like, that would be a great thing to point to, is that like both countries are currently trying to fucking make a giant robot. That sounds fucking awesome.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm in, but I feel like that could probably be going to like cure cancer or something. These brilliant minds are like, I could probably cure the common cold. Fuck that, robots. Let's do it. You in? I'm in.
Yes and no. I don't feel like there's a ton of overlap between robotics and medicine. There definitely is some. But giant robots, Joe.
I mean, there is robotics in medicine because, as you probably know, I'm a security guard at a hospital, and we got these little machine things that watch people, and they're like, hey, sit down. Hey, don't put that in your mouth. Hey, please stop peeing in the room. And just generalized stuff like that. So yeah, medicine and robots overlap. Also, I brought a drone to work one time. That was very frowned upon.
Those people don't typically have cancer, Joe.
Yeah, what do you call an MRI machine? That's robots in healthcare.
I'm going to leave that conversation where it is because I don't know enough to debate it. There was a study in 2005, and it basically broke down in order by group size some different types of otaku. I just kind of want to read off the list because there's some here that you'd probably listen.
I'm gonna shit on his list,
and you're gonna be like, "What the fuck are some of these?" But yeah, there's manga, which I've already talked to you about, which is the most, like, that's the top one.
Yeah, I fucking love mangoes.
There's idols, which I think I already also explained.
Yeah, some of them, they're like the Japanese boy bands or the idols.
Sure. Oftentimes idols more are like girl groups, but I mean there are other boy idols. That
doesn't change anything.
Yeah, I mean,
I know they're called boy bands, but really, if you look at it, they're very girly in a way.
Yeah, they're both cute enough to waifu, so who cares?
What the fuck is a waifu? I can get waifu on my phone, actually. That's Wi-Fi. Never mind.
But can you get the 5G?
There's 5G waifus?
5G waifus.
Wait, that's like Krieger and freaking Archer, right? Yeah,
he's probably got a 5G waifu.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
There are travel otaku, which I wish I wrote down some notes for because I couldn't find anything about it. But yeah, travel otaku. I'm sure they're the type of people who just love to see different parts of the country.
I mean, that's not a horrible thing.
Yeah, that doesn't sound negative.
I
mean,
I would totally get into that otaku.
There's PC and personal computer and video game otaku, which I just kind of roll into the same thing. It's not the same thing, clearly, but
video game's a video game.
That's probably a little bit lesser in your mind than travel otaku. There are automobile otaku, which
that just mechanics.
Yeah, right.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Anime, obviously, but I'm surprised anime is this low down the list.
Me too.
And
That's
then
very surprising.
Below
that'd be
here,
like top dog type thing.
Right? But it still makes sense to me that
even the Japanese are like, man, cars are definitely cooler than anime. So yeah, I mean they're getting something right.
I don't know. Cars aren't really all that. Anyway, yeah. Then there's some lesser categories: mobile IT. I don't know what the fuck that's supposed to be. Equipment otaku, audio visual, camera, and railway. Like railway.
How does that even go together? Like,
yeah, again, I wish I could have found some.
I film trains.
Right. And then like the train system is kind of an integral part of travel in Japan because you can pretty much go from.
Oh, they got like the bullet trains and shit that go super fast. Right?
Sure, yeah.
Did you get to ride a bullet train?
I did not. Those are really expensive.
What the fuck, man? I'm trying to send you to Japan to get me these answers. And
wait, you're sending me to Japan?
Okay, not actually sending you to Japan. But, like, you should have gotten these answers before I even asked them.
I'll go ride a fucking bullet train if you send me to Japan. Okay, but don't say you're going to send me to Japan.
I'm going to send you to another place, and it's not going to be Japan, you shit-mouth little bastard.
All right, but are there otaku there? Or waifus?
I don't know.
Oh. Well, that's not very helpful.
There's demons, I can tell you that.
Hot demons?
I mean, depending on your preferences. I mean, I've never seen you with a lady, so I don't know what your preferences are.
Fuck yeah, send me there.
I just want a robot. Is that so bad to ask? Stay away from my vacuum.
I'm not allowed near vacuums anymore, Joe.
Yeah, there's a reason. Like, okay, so this otaku thing, I mean, obviously, is there like a hierarchy to it? Like, I know there's a population or like a census ranking system, but like, say there's a bunch of Otakus over here, okay, or Pukak or whatever. All right, I don't know, fucking things.
You're getting very close to another word I don't want you saying, but okay.
I'm really aware. We'll save that for another episode. All right, so check this out. So there's a bunch of them, like this is your high school setting, and there's like a bunch of them over here. What's the outcast kid that might like shoot up the rest of the kids because he's the loner and like no one's like don't talk to that guy. What is the Otaku? What's the word again?
Otaku. You're saying it wrong so many times it's fucking me up now. Otaku.
Otaku. All right. What is the otaku that everyone's like, yeah, don't fucking talk to that otaku. Stay away from him. We know he's not right.
I'm pretty sure it's the same as the ones here in the U.S. They're very clearly mentally ill in some way. Not to like shit on the mentally ill.
I'm not shitting on the mentally ill. I'm just saying.
There's correlation there. I mean, if you're trying to ask me if there's like a hierarchical like tier of otaku, I mean, I would love to say yes to that because that sounds awesome, but I don't believe so. We're still talking about like, if we're talking about the high school setting, we're talking about cliques. There's still like the preppies, the sport types. I mean, you're thinking Japan is all otaku or just people who love anime and manga. That's not really true.
I know that's not true, but I mean, for the sake of like the subject of this session,
I would think more likely than not, you're not going to look at someone who's sporty or preppy or whatever fucking types of cliques might exist in high schools in Japan. You're not going to look at those and think of them as the ones to watch out for. I'm guessing the other students will probably be looking at otaku and being worried about them. I mean, and
I do worry about you a lot, Anthony.
which is not fair to me. But, you know, I went to high school too. I was also a part of the nerdy anime groups.
Okay. So, like, I grew up, you know, as a wrestler, as a football star. Right. I was a jock. Like, I was a popular kid. But, I mean, I talked to everybody. Rub it in, Joe. I talked to everybody, but, like, I was considered a popular kid. So, let me get this straight. You were those little like... the kids that wore the real dark clothes and like they played Magic the Gathering at lunch and talked about like shitty scene music.
There's nothing little about me even in high school. I was one of the bigger kids. Okay,
I can see that. I can see that. I'm just saying you're actually tall. You're taller than I am. So I mean,
I didn't wear all black.
Whatever. All right.
That sounds more like Melissa, not us.
She's a wonderful lady.
Yeah, and she's got plenty of friends.
If you listen to this, we love you, Melissa. Not like that. That's weird. Anyway.
We love you, Melissa. But no, I wasn't a part of like the Magic the Gathering crowd or anything. There wasn't really one to speak of in my school.
Yeah, because you grew up in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. There was like 6 of you kids that graduated together.
Exactly. I mean,
you all had your own cliques.
I mean, it was small enough where surprisingly it was still kind of cliquey in ways. But
I don't know if I consider a group of 3 people a clique, but okay.
Yeah. I just wasn't particularly social with people outside of my close friends. But nobody ever really kind of like walked on the other side of the hall from me or anything. So I don't think anyone worried about me particularly. I don't think there was anyone I could think of in my school that we worried about. I certainly don't think it would be an otaku. I think people just kind of expect them to keep to themselves here in the U.S.
Right. Keep to yourselves. I don't want to hear about your shit. Because especially out in public, because if I'm seeing it with you in public and you're like, hey, anime, I'm probably going to punch you in the throat and tell you never do that again.
Yeah, in the town where I grew up, Genoa, the kids you had to watch out for were the ones where they had stories about poking their dogs in the butthole with sticks. Those are the kids you kind of worried about. You know, because we're talking about a town that small. There's not a lot to do, but I certainly don't put poking a dog in the butthole with a stick anywhere on my list, let alone the bottom.
Things to do.
So those are the kids I would probably avoid.
No, see, when I grew up, I didn't do a lot of this nerd shit. I think the nerdiest thing I ever did was like superheroes. Like, don't get me wrong, I love superheroes and I love the lore behind them, especially certain superheroes. Superman's hot garbage. I'm more of a Punisher guy. Obviously, if you haven't figured that out already, guys.
You're looking to pick fights, aren't you?
Look, all right. There was 3 reasons I went to school. sports, pretty girls, and fistfights. All right. Outside of that, there was no higher learning. All right. I got C average. That's about all. I mean, not I get A's and B's, but for the record, I never went too hard in school. But I guess if I were to say I were, what's the word again? Look, I'm slightly in. Yeah, otaku. If I were an otaku, now, anyway, I don't know about back then, but now, I think I'd be like I don't know, because I don't really fixate on one thing. Like, I have adult ADHD. I don't know, never been diagnosed, but I consider myself, and I'm pretty sure Anthony here would totally agree with me. I don't fixate on one thing, but like, I have a core things I fixate on. Like, would that count? Like, if I had a core thing, could I be like a multiple otaku? No?
I mean, knowing you, I feel like if I were to put you under anything, it'd be like MMA otaku, if that's a thing. If anyone would consider themselves that. I mean, you certainly do like MMA, right?
Oh, no, I love it. I definitely love it.
Although, I don't know if you're more into... I mean, you watch, like, pay-per-view stuff, too, right?
Oh, God, yes.
I was going to say... Cause
I don't pirate it. I would never pirate, and you should never pirate either.
No, of course not. uTorrent is a thing totally aside from anything else we have going on, but... yeah, I mean, I feel like I would put you more under like someone who prefers to teach it and, practice it.
Yeah, because head trauma is a real thing.
But the fact that
I fought for a while.
You kind of fit into the whole subculture of MMA. That could be something that someone, if they really wanted to go out of their way to say it, could call it a consuming interest. I assume I could see that. You probably spend a good amount of money on that kind of thing.
I do, more than I'd like to.
You spend a good amount of time on that kind of thing. But not enough where it has, I assume it probably doesn't have too much negative influence on your life.
Other than medical bills and head trauma, no.
Yeah. And if you were to call me, I guess I'd probably be more of a video game otaku. Right?
Oh, yeah. I would definitely say video game otaku.
If we were to, again, call it a consuming interest, it's not something where, I still go to work. I still make money. I still get by. I go hang out with friends. I have friends.
No, he doesn't. Like he keeps saying this. Let's be honest here. I'm his only friend.
But
they're all in his head.
It's the type of thing where I think it depends on where you draw the line. If you're the type of person who sees otaku as something negative, then you would probably only label someone an otaku if it's something that like keeps them from being normal.
So it's like their drug. Like otaku is kind of like their drug. Like you were talking about the guy who lives out of a hotel.
Yeah.
And like he fixates on video games. He spends all his money. So basically, otaku is like a self-obsessed crackhead.
I mean, I personally would probably want to argue against that. I don't think it has to be that kind of thing. I think if you were the type of person who loved anime or video games or MMA to the point where it was an aspect of your life that you really loved to meet other people and talk about it with,
I have my online forums.
Exactly. It's the type of thing where I think I would call it a consuming interest because it consumes your other interests. Do you spend time doing a lot of other things you'd like to do? I don't know what exactly Joe likes to do. Watch Marvel movies, fix cars. I don't fucking know.
I'm not a huge car guy because that's expensive and I'm broke.
Exactly. Would you get into automobiles if you didn't have MMA as an expense? Maybe. I don't know. Again, I don't...
I think I might. I mean, I might, but I doubt it. I mean, I guess you're right, because I am an MMA otaku, because, I mean, without it, I don't know. It's such a big part of my life, and it's been such a big part of my life since, 15? I'm 32 now. You do that math, so...
I don't want to.
Yeah, no. Apparently, from what you said earlier, math isn't your strong suit.
Neither is speaking, but
yeah,
here we are.
Here we are, and look, I want to put on the record again, I'm slightly inebriated. He's stone cold sober. So, yeah. I have a right to fumble over my words. Fumble over my words. Anyway, yeah, so I guess I could be like an MMA otaku type guy, because I don't know where the hell I'd be without it. I'd probably be a lot fatter, because I'm also a foodie. I know that doesn't go hand in hand. That usually doesn't go hand in hand, but fuck it, I do what I want.
Yeah, if you weren't in an MMA, you wouldn't work out as much, I'm
Hell
sure,
no.
clearly.
No, hell
And
no.
maybe you would become more of a foodie, right? Maybe you
I
spend
would
more of your time and
definitely
money
be more of a foodie.
eating food, preparing food, trying different things, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if that necessarily would make you fat, if you're, moderate about what you're eating exactly, but...
What part of my personality says in moderation?
Yeah,
Anthony?
none of it. So you would be pretty fat. Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to get that out there. I mean, when you spend most of your life cutting weight and you have your diet down to an absolute science, and then all of a sudden they're like, hey, you probably shouldn't do this anymore on account of, you need a fucking brain to live. Though there is evidence that is failing me, but that's a whole nother story.
Those couple brain cells left in there are really
trying.
They're working
really trying. But, and then all of a sudden they're like, hey man, you don't have to weigh in anymore. And you're like, holy shit, I like cake. And barbecue and all things pasta. Like I don't think I've ever had a pasta that I haven't liked.
Pasta's fucking good.
Oh god, is there like a sushi otaku?
I don't know. I'd have to research that.
But I mean,
there might be
would
someone who
one.
goes around the entire country and looks specifically for the best sushi.
Oh,
it's very possible.
Okay, so recently, speaking of Japan, I know this is kind of off kilter, but not totally.
That's fine. We were about to go into some off kilter stuff anyway.
A little bit of off kilter stuff. I recently just tried Japanese whiskey for the first time. I know, a little late on the game. It's been around for a while.
Yeah. It's
fantastic.
It's gaining popularity here, right?
Fantastic. It is huge here. Well, I mean, huge it's compared to where it was a few years ago. Yeah. It is very smooth and is on par with top level American whiskeys, which shocked me because when I think of Japan, I don't think whiskey, I think soy sauce. I think sushi, I think samurais.
What about sake or rice wine?
Look, that is wonderful.
Yeah.
I recently just went out to Shogun's out in Rockford, Illinois. A nice little Japanese place. Their sake selection, let me tell you, is absolutely wonderful. I had some plum sake. Now, I'm not a plum guy.
That sounds good.
I don't really like plum, but the way they did this, it was super smooth and like almost sweet on the back end of it. Like, man, I'm telling you,
that sounds dangerous.
I'm gonna have to go get. We should get just one night. Just get f***ed up at a Japanese restaurant.
Hell yeah!
Like, I mean, I'm in. You don't have to tell me, hey, Joe, come have a few drinks. Like, I've got so many stories that started off with, someone saying that. And it ended up in just utter shenanigans, but that's besides the point. But yeah, Japanese whiskey is phenomenal. And I heard they make great swords, too. So, I mean, I'm all right with the Japanese.
Glorious Nippon steel.
Why do you have to say it like that?
That's just the way you have to say it.
I don't think you have to say it like that.
I'm pretty
you
sure
say
I have to
Nippon
say it
steel.
Nippon steel, that's what it is.
Yeah, but I feel like you put a Japanese dialect on it for half a second.
I said glorious. I ignore what I said.
Okay, whatever.
So I want to touch on one final topic. It really isn't even otaku related, but it's kind of otaku adjacent. And I think it's a funny word. So that's kind of why I wanted to tell it to Joe, because I feel like he'll enjoy it. So there's a subculture. I don't even know if you'd call it a subculture. It's so new. It's not even new. It's an interesting term. It's called chunibyo. And it kind of, I don't know how to pick apart.
Like a chimichanga and a burrito had a baby.
I don't know how to pick apart the Japanese that makes up the word. But from what I've seen and been told, it means middle schooler syndrome. And the idea behind it is...
Where are you going with this, Anthony?
It's someone who's kind of so absorbed with... It is similar to otaku in the way you're kind of absorbed in an interest. But they're typically described as someone who's very melodramatic. And they are know-nothing know-it-alls.
Half of America. Yeah. No, that's disturbingly close to home.
3 types of chunibyo that TV Tropes has listed out. I'm not sure exactly what this stands for. I assume something like delinquent something, but there's DQN. And it is a type that likes to brag about things like getting into fights, doing drugs, even though they very clearly probably don't do those things. So if you think like back in middle school, we all knew a friend who was like, yeah, I do weed. Obviously, I drank my dad's beer once.
I just snorted all of the marijuana.
Right.
Yeah.
Imagine growing up, getting into high school or, God forbid, college, and you still know these people.
Oh, God.
The type of people where, like, they're telling you about, like, dude, oh, man, like, last night I did, like, speedballs, or, like, you know, I fucking, like, beat this dude's ass at a bar, and you're just sitting...
way too many of those people.
You're sitting there listening, and you're thinking to yourself, like, no, you didn't, dude.
No, God.
That's a type of chunibyo. They kind of live in this made-up fantasy worlds where they're trying to flex things they never did.
I mean, I do too, but that's just multiple head traumas.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a memory issue. That has nothing to do with you trying to brag.
Have you met my friend Pinky? Yeah, it's a horse that sits on my shoulder.
A horse?
Yeah, it's a My Little Pony.
Oh.
He says really fucked up things, though.
Yeah.
No, we don't have to hurt him. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah, I've read some pretty horrible fan fiction about My Little Pony characters. Anyway.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, there's a lot of murder that goes on in the subculture,
Unnecessary amount of that. I think we should cover My Little Pony on another episode. But...
I will look into it.
Damn it.
There's also the subcultural type of chunibyo. And this one is probably a lot more identifiable to us in the US. Think about when you were in school and you saw goth kids, right? Kids who dressed in all black, kids who wore like the fucking like
kids that magically ended up in lockers. Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah. They wore the shirts where it looked like they had like cobwebs on them and shit.
Yeah.
Or like ripped up jeans and all that. And they'd love to talk about like what bands they're into. You know, they're into like the certain fucking emo bands and all that. And if you really spoke to them and you really got to know them, you'd find out they really know nothing about the emo subculture. They don't know jack shit about it, but they idolize it. So that's the kind of thing we're dealing with the subcultural chunibyo. They don't know anything about the subculture they idolize, except that they like it. They like the aesthetic of it.
I can understand that so much coming from the mixed martial arts scene.
Yeah?
There are so many people that'll watch one or two fights, and they're like, well, it's obviously... I'm an expert now.
Yeah.
Okay? But I throw statistics at them, and I throw probability at them, and win-loss records, and they're like, wait, what? But they're so opinionated without backing up that opinion by any type of anything, really.
Yeah, they're the type of people, they'll walk around with the muscle shirts, or they'll walk around with their favorite MMA guy on their shirt. They'll tell you about how often they go to the gym and shit like that. When you really get to know them, you realize, like, you don't go to the gym all that much, dude. You don't watch enough MMA or know enough about MMA to be able to back up any of the shit that you say you like. That's kind of what we're talking about here. And then I want to talk for a minute about the last one TV tropes.
I don't know how I feel about that smirk on your face for this one.
Oh, this one's amazing. It's my favorite. The chunibyo type that is commonly referred to as evil eye. Evil eye sounds like so much fun. I probably would have done this had I not been the shy, quiet kid. This sounds amazing to me. These kids love to develop personas and stuff. They believe in their own little made up world space. They have like secret powers. They can read your mind. They can see the future. These types are probably not as common in reality. But in things like anime and manga, this is the most popular type to write, is a character who loves to just like live in this world and, you know, tell you about like the demon eye they have under this eye patch that they wear. Or it could even be something like, you know, that kid
who... get a cool demon eye. I had to wear an eye patch in 6th grade one time because I caught some... All right, look, we were riding our bikes and a tree branch hit me in the eye. I had to wear it for a week. I didn't get a fucking demon eye. I just got a scratched retina. This is bullshit.
Yeah, that's the difference between when a tree hits you in the eye and when a demon hits you in the eye, Joey.
So, like, so all you got to say is, oh, I have to fight more demons. That's fine.
Fight more demons.
Where the hell do I find demons?
There's books on it.
Well, that got dark quickly.
But if we're not talking about like the darker stuff, the evil eye trope can also apply to people who loves things like, say, Power Rangers. Or in Japan, they're called the Super Sentai.
That sounds slightly pornographic.
I don't see how. But they would like pose, or they would like wear the costumes, or they'd wear the fucking watch. You know what I mean? The fucking watch.
One of us might have a text tone. Is that do 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 do?
Yeah, I mean, that would be sick. That doesn't make you a chunibyo, but
good, because it may or may not be the text tone, but look, all I'm saying is I'm not a chuni burrito.
Chuni
whatever.
burrito, yeah.
Chuni banana, there we go. Ha!
Or like
wins again.
Not just Power Rangers, like Dragon Ball Z. You know, the kids
Man, that shit's so huge.
The kids who mimic the Kamehameha kind of shit. They do the hand motions kids. And all that stuff. They know all that kind of stuff.
It's not a martial art. Please stop.
Dude, Goku practice martial arts, Joe. I want to be like Goku. Show me how to shoot
Goku
spirit
can go
waves.
piss up a fucking rope. It's not real. Neither is karate. Just saying that, throwing that out there.
Oh, wow. That's a hot take.
Yeah, no, you're going to get a few of these hot takes out of me here and there.
I appreciate that because, I feel like most of the karate taught in here in the U.S. probably is just...
I can't speak on anything overseas because I've never done that.
Sure.
But for what I've seen here,
it's
shit. It's hot shit. Like, I'm talking porta potty in 95-degree weather, sitting there after fucking a giant EDM festival. Hot.
Oh, God.
Just toilet of absolute shit. All right? Not going to mention anything around here because I don't want to be that guy, but yeah,
we won't have to do
there's
that.
certain studios that are just hot shit. All right? Just throwing that out there. Sorry, that's my rant for the day. Fucking.
That's going to be my last note on Chunibyo. Have you ever heard of the book Don Quixote?
I love Don Quixote.
Don Quixote in Japan is viewed as a massive Chunibyo. And I fucking love that.
That's accurate.
Because it's accurate.
That's totally fucking accurate.
It's so amazing, isn't it? It's like, oh yeah, he fucking is.
No, like, if you've never read it, I highly recommend the book. Read Don Quixote. It's funny as hell, even by today's standards. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's like, I feel like that's higher echelon Chunibyo.
Yeah.
Like, that is definitely higher echelon. He's
I don't. He wanted so bad to be a knight. He just fucking lived that shit, man.
He did. I mean, kudos to him. Because,
give him a small amount of credit for doing that.
I do give him a small amount of credit. He tried his best without actually trying at all. So, I mean, like, that's an accomplishment in itself. Like,
right.
You literally bullshitted your way through everything and somehow... Holy shit, that was high school for me. I bullshitted my way through everything and somehow passed the test. Boom.
That explains a lot.
Fuck off, Anthony.
Anyway, so that was, my lecture, my long drawn-out discussion on otaku. Joe, do you think you learned anything today?
I learned what a otaku is, a chunibyo.
Uh-huh.
And there was a lot of side segments there that I didn't really learn anything about, but damn it, I'm trying.
Yeah,
all
again,
right? I realized that you are a huge otaku, but you're not a chunibyo because you know what the fuck you're talking about.
At least I don't live in some delusional world.
All right, look here. All right, it's not delusions. I don't have delusions. I can back this up, Anthony.
It's not delusions if it's hallucinations caused by head trauma, Joe.
Yeah, well, no.
It's really just sad at that point.
Okay, look. I'm seeing doctors, kinda. Ish. They're not doctors. It's a bartender. I have a problem.
But we call him Doc.
We call him Doc. It's fine. It's totally fine. And he gives me plenty of medicine until he has to cut me off from medicine. And the fucking security has to throw me out just like at a hospital. Right? That's how that goes, right?
So...
oh, God. Is this the intervention? I knew it was coming. What?
Yeah, people are about to walk into the room, Joe. We need you to sit down for this.
I've been sitting
keep
down.
sitting down.
This is how it ends. I figured.
I suppose to wrap up our little first podcast here, I would love to ask you a question about something. I'm trying to think if I have a good question to ask you.
Something that you don't understand about my apparent world or culture or fucking anything.
Yeah. So what was it like getting into how do I word this? Getting into like arranged mixed martial arts, like getting actual matches picked out for you and
oh God, it's a pain in the ass. It is an absolute pain in the ass. All right. So is what you got to do. First off, don't fucking train for 6 months and then be like, oh, I'm going to go fight. Because that's how you get either knocked out or choked out to where you be like, holy shit, what just happened? All right, don't do that. I don't ever suggest doing that. Is what you do, get into a real gym. All right, no one likes fucking garage fighters. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Just because you and your fucking dork little friends decided to watch some goddamn UFC one time, and we're like, hey man, I'm throwing mats in my garage, and like we got a flag made, and like we're a team now. No, you're not. Don't do that. Join a real gym. All right. There's plenty of real gyms out here that you can join. Okay. You train for a while, and say you walk around at 200 pounds. Just give you that. You're probably going to want to fight at 170. All right, that's 30 pounds. All right, you cut your weight. I would do a dry run and just cut the weight and try to maintain it for a few days. Just so you know I can do this without having to absolutely kill myself. And then you contact a promoter, like promoter for like Caged Aggression or XFO, the smaller ones out here. And you would tell that promoter, look, this is my first fight, this is my second fight, 4th, 5th, 10th, whatever fight. I'm going to come in at 170. And is what he's going to do, he's going to try to find another guy from another camp, and they're going to pair you up with him relatively the same like experience level, but he's going to be 170 pounds too. So you're going to get matched up relatively the same experience level and definitely the same weight class. Because unlike fucking Dragon Ball Z, weight classes need to be a thing, because I'm going to tell you right now, that guy at 225 pounds hits a hell of a lot harder than the guy at 155 pounds.
But I'm the underdog. I want to get in there and fight the guy who's bigger than me and more experienced than me.
Did I not just warn you about doing stupid shit?
If I believe in my friends, their energy can feed into me, and the power of friendship can help me get through.
Yeah, and the power of a right roundhouse kick to the mouth could shut you off like that too.
That would probably beat the power of friendship.
Yeah, no, I think it'll really beat the power of friendship. And like, you go in a fight night, you gotta see the doctor. You gotta see, first off, you gotta tell the promoter, like, hey, I'm there, because that's happened. There's been fighters in the locker room that they were like, hey, have you seen so-and-so? He isn't here. He's like, hey, bro, I've been here for like 2 hours now. Always tell the promoter you're there, okay?
Yeah, fair enough.
Then you probably do the weigh-in the nights before, sometimes the night of. Weigh in, tell the doc, hey, look, I'm not bleeding from my ears. Yes, you're holding up 3 fingers, and no, I don't hear the color green screaming at me. Okay.
But there is an alpaca in the corner of the room, and he is just mean-bugging me. What do we do about him?
I don't suggest doing LSD before you go into a fight.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it would make things more injuring. You're probably injuring
too.
Probably do that too. Like, I mean, if you're beating up a post thinking it's a gorilla, then yeah, you're probably gonna hurt your hands. But you go to the doctor, you gotta wrap your hands and everything, and that's a whole nother art. Like, hand wrapping is an art in itself. Just like in Otaku, or whatever. God damn it. Otaku. In Otaku, I would imagine that they are anal retentive about certain aspects. Same thing. Everybody fighter wants their hands wrapped their own certain way. It's just, it's bad. There's probably an Otaku on fucking hand wrapping.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of cool anime characters with hand wraps. They just kind of always have them on, which is cool.
What style of hand wraps, though? There's a couple of different styles.
There are styles? I typically... you see.
Is it cloth or tape? We'll just start there. Cloth or tape.
It's anime. The quality's too low to fucking tell which is which.
Anyway.
I would say tape, probably. And it's not around their fingers, but you probably get both.
Yeah. You can tape... There's like 3 or 4 different ways you can tape hands. Like, there's American or Western style... Thai style, Dutch style, and Brazilian style. Like, just different ways to tape hands and shit. And you get your tape, you have somebody watch you tape your hands, because, you shouldn't be holding fucking rolls of quarters in your hand and be like, yeah, I'm ready to go. I think that's a little unfair to your opponent.
Yeah.
So you get signed off, the guy comes in, checks your wraps, make sure you're not fucking hiding brass knuckles under your gloves. Checks it off, put your gloves on, you go to war. All right. I have a funny story about them totally fucking up, because everybody has an entrance thing, kind of like an anime. They have their big fucking song before they fight.
Anime
or something.
OP. The we are and the fighting dreamers of the MMA world, right? like Naruto and One Piece?
Okay, before like
you get like the good guy and the bad guy too.
No.
That's
like the good guy and the bad guy are gonna square off. There's like usually like a big song or music or something behind it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, same thing. When you're walking to the ring, you get a song. But sometimes the DJ is a negligent piece of shit and loses his list. And then you just get a random song.
Oh.
And like sometimes the DJ's like, yeah, fuck this guy. Because he said something to me backstage or he didn't look. There's a plethora of reasons why that DJ will purposely fuck up your song.
I would piss my pants if like Joe walked out to the ring to the "She thinks my tractor's sexy."
I've heard songs like that.
Oh no.
Yes, absolutely. I've heard a lot of. I think one guy came out to Frank Sinatra's "My Way." Now he had chosen that, which is an interesting song. Like, okay, here's a question: if you had a fight, what would your song be? What would your entrance theme? Seeing that you are this big nerd, what would your entrance theme be?
Or were you expecting me to pick something anime or
anything? Absolutely anything.
I don't know.
Like something that's gonna get you hyped up to go in there and just destroy somebody. If you could even know what that feeling feels like.
I know. What is it called? It was a song from a game called Dragon's Dogma.
And here we go. Here we go. Wow, you really hit the higher up echelon of you nerds. Like, long live the king. Fuck.
God, come on. I want the fucking anime song. Give me the fucking song. You know which one I'm talking about.
No, I really don't know which one.
Oh no, not you. I meant. Oh, it's called Into Free. That's
not even a word. That's not even a sentence. That's like into free.
That's the best part about Japan is they love English so much they'll just throw words in and they give a fuck what it means. No, they don't. But they love hearing it.
I feel like that goes horribly wrong sometimes too. Like,
oh yeah, absolutely.
Like,
you ever seen those fucked up bargain bin shirts that are like the shirts that you'd see like poor kids wearing? I hate to say it like that, but you know, like donated shirts, the shirts that like just say "fuck you" on it, but like like some Chinese orphan kid is wearing it and he doesn't know what that means. Nobody knows what it means. That's the kind of shit you'll see sometimes where it's like, where did they come up with that? I don't know what the fuck Into Free is supposed to be. It kind of there is English lyrics to it, and I guess it kind of makes sense, but it really doesn't make any sense. And that's kind of what makes it beautiful.
I mean, okay. Wow, you really went a lot further nerd into that than I thought you were going to go.
I was going to go with something boring, and then I thought about it. I'm like, wait a second. No. The Dragon's Dogma theme is so fucking, like, it's awesome, and then it's this nerdy fucking anime awesome that's like, I'll have you listen to it later. It's.
I don't want to listen to it.
You're going to listen to it. You don't have a choice.
And like, yeah, that pretty much takes you from training to right before the fight to the fight. And you obviously go out there and do what you've been trained to do, which honestly is nowhere near as easy as you couch potatoes fucking think it is. Sorry, I got a little angry about that one. I've been having a lot of people that have never trained a day in my life telling me what professional fighters should and shouldn't have done.
It's a lot harder than going out there and just swinging your fists at the air. You actually have to know, like, technique.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're right. As sarcastic about that as you're being, you're right.
Sorry, I just always come off as sarcastic.
There's a lot more technique. It's like a chess game, a very, very violent chess game.
Yeah, where you don't give a fuck about turn order.
You really don't. That's another thing I kind of wanted to ask. You know, what's up with the turn-based combat games like Final Fantasy and shit like that? I hate that. That annoys me. No, you don't get a turn because I...
All right, sorry. We had some technical difficulties again. So, Joe, go back to what you were telling me about.
Yeah, I just don't understand the whole turn-based etiquette in the Japanese games. Like, I know there's games like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. I know that's not Japanese, but... Well, I don't have to wait my turn to hit you in the face with a fireball like Final Fantasy and Dungeons and Dragons. No, that's not it. Whatever. That's a whole nother sect of nerdism.
Well, Dungeons and Dragons is turn-based, but you're thinking Japanese stuff.
Yeah.
So
Why
yeah,
is it like that?
Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest have
Dragon
long
Quest.
history. I mean, those are... Fuck, when did those come out? Probably...
OGs of the video game world, huh?
Late 80s? Early 90s, probably?
Shit. Okay. Yeah, no, that's some dates right there.
And Dragon Quest, funnily enough that we're talking about this, Dragon Quest is such a big franchise in Japan. Days that Dragon Quest games come out are the days where you see the most sick days being called in at work and stuff. Like in Japan, people are calling off sick to go home and play Dragon Quest when it comes out. That's how major it is over there. And obviously, there's a lot of merit to playing games like, say, Grand Theft Auto or fighting games. I love fighting games personally, where there are no turns. Debatably with fighting games, there are turns, but that's when we're talking about like very high-level professional play. But when we're talking about games strictly built around turn-based, like Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest, I would say some of the major reasons people play those games are for stats. They're stats nerds. They love to see math. They love to see things... I have the bigger
want to punch them.
I have the bigger attack. You have the smaller defense. I'm gonna fucking slap you with this big number and watch big numbers fly and shit like that. Though it can also come down to other types of strategies. Maybe you like to play with damage over time. You know, maybe you love to poison your enemies and see their health go down every turn, stuff like that.
Some nerd shit. I mean, I play fantasy football, so I can't really say that I don't like to see numbers and shit. So I mean,
what's the difference between fantasy football?
I guess
and Final
instead
Fantasy?
of destroying it, I can offer an olive branch to it and be like, yeah, I also like numbers. So
right.
we're there. Okay,
it's not for everybody.
Bringing the jocks and the nerds together. Oh yeah.
There's certainly aspects to it I enjoy. I'm not really the type to sit down and play it. You know, to be honest, I don't really like Final Fantasy that much. I've enjoyed a few of them.
I feel like you just lost a lot of the fan base.
That's possible. I don't think...
The 3 people who might listen to this podcast.
I know one person in particular hates me for not liking Final Fantasy, but he can, suck an egg.
Can I offer you an egg in these trying times?
Can I offer you an egg in these trying times? That's what Final Fantasy is to me. It's an egg in these trying times. And it's being offered to me. I'm not really that into it, but it's fine for what it is. Dragon Quest is cool, but Dragon Quest is very much traditional. It's even the newest game. It's turn-based. It is what it is, and you either like it or you don't. I've played a game recently called Xenoblade Chronicles, and that game isn't turn-based, but it is very much stats nerd. Like you need to know, and I don't think you have to know these things in order to enjoy it, but you will get the most enjoyment out of it if you are making sure your characters are min-maxed, which is a term we use. That means having, minimum bonuses in stats you don't care about, maximum bonuses in stats you do care about. You want this character to be maximum attacker. He's hitting the hardest. This character's your tank. He has the highest defense or high evasion or something, high health. This character is support-based, so maybe their stats don't matter as much, but the moves they're using do. Kind of stuff like that. But Xenoblade Chronicles isn't turn-based. You actually run around in real time, and, the most turn-based it gets is all your attacks have cooldowns you're waiting for them to come off of. But if you decide you don't want to use that move right when it comes off a cooldown, and you want to use a different one, that's up to you. And it's not like all your moves go on cooldown. You have that stored for later to use again. So, yeah, I don't know if that answered your question precisely, but...
That gives me a good enough answer. I'm okay with it. It sounds good.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think from there, this is probably a good place to wrap up. We've gone on for...
I've learned something today.
Good. I think we went on for like an hour.
Will I retain it? Probably not.
Maybe
but you taught me something new.
Maybe even 2 hours at this point. So, that'll be good. I've been Anthony. This has been Joe. Joe, do you have anything you want people to follow you on? Anything to plug?
Not yet. I'm still setting everything up. But, yeah, when I do get it set up, I will definitely plug it.
Gotcha.
How about you, Anthony? What should people follow you on? How are people going to know about this podcast? Because God knows I'm not doing anything about it.
Don't slap my pop filter. People are going to hear that.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I'll probably try to advertise this on Facebook. It's not something I typically use all that much. I'll probably advertise it on Twitter. I think for now, I'll probably put this up on SoundCloud. So I will definitely include in the description where you can find me at those places. Certainly, I am just, Anthony Cubs at Facebook. That's spelled Kubs. Don't throw multiple B's in there. I don't know why people do that. I think Twitter is just at Anthony Cubs. But again, I will link that in the description. So, thanks for joining me, Joe.
Anytime.
If we end up doing this again next week, which I would be very happy to do so.
I'm totally in.
I'll see what topic I can pick up for that. Maybe it won't necessarily be something anime or Japan related, but
it could be anything in the Nerd Kingdom. I mean, the Nerd Kingdom is vast, and I'm pretty sure you're an expert on it. So.
Yeah, I'm glad you're happy to listen to this fucking rambling that I've done. My roommate can attest to you how much I can fucking ramble on some topics. So I think if I were to do like One Piece, that would definitely be something where I could probably do the whole fucking hour talking about that. But although to be fair, that's been running for fucking 23 years.
Jesus, that is a long time.
So that makes sense. But join us next week. I'll definitely keep everybody updated. See if we get another one out next week. I don't know if these will post exactly on Mondays. I definitely want to look over editing and stuff. But Monday or Tuesday should be when we post. So
boom. That sounds great. And I'll be back too. Might be sober. Might not be sober.
It wouldn't be fun if you were, Joe.
He's got a good point. I'm not as fun sober. Oh, fuck you. I'm fun all the time. Anyway, you guys have a great night. And if you don't listen to my podcast, I will find you and I will kill you. Have a great night.
It's always nice to be threatened. Have a good night, everybody.